Welcome to the number one friendship podcast in the country. I'm Aaron Cairo.
I'm Matt Ritter.
And make sure to go to manoftheyearpodcast.com to grab our merch and YouTube to watch our clips and episodes. So, Matt, the other day we had drinks at one of our favorite spots in LA, the rooftop of the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills. The most beautiful view, I think, of any sort of bar or restaurant in LA. There was one downside. It was magic hour. So it was like the sun was kind of on its way down, like incredible vistas, but it was hitting your head just right and blowing up your gray hairs like a black light. And I hadn't seen you in that light in a while, and I was like, oh, it's happening. The gray hairs are coming for you.
It's not a coincidence I stopped going to happy hour on roof decks.
Why, Matt's not drinking as much. Yeah, he doesn't really like happy hour that much.
Just 5 to 7. It's no good. I'm waiting for the fall forward, whatever. The time change again.
And it's interesting because you and I'm not making fun of the story. You don't really grow facial hair, so you don't really have. I'm gray all over, but you don't really see it with you.
No, and I used to have Jesse pluck my hairs, but they've become too many. It's impossible.
You've become unpluckable.
Unpluckable. I'm one of the unpluckable. I've joined the ranks of the unpluckables.
We're the unpluckables. The gray hairs have become unpluckable.
Every man reaches an age, hopefully it's in their 40s, at least they get to their 40s, where they're plucking one or two every couple months, and then it's like, oh wow, there's like a dozen every time you do the plucking. And then it's like, my wife is like, I just plucked 300 hairs. I can't do this anymore.
Dare I say unpluckable and unfuckable.
No, people like the salt and pepper hair, it's
on Clooney.
On Clooney, right?
And that was like the original diss on me 3 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm since I get it in my beard, it's a lot more visible for me. But I definitely am going through a sort of not existential, but I'm like, you and I don't look our age. Yeah. But when you're gray, you just
more me than you, but yeah.
Sure. Sure. You do have that Mediterranean smooth skin.
Yeah. Well, you know what I was going to say? What's interesting, I saw this study that like there's 2 age accelerations that happen with men. Did you see that recently? There's 2 44 and 60. I feel like I'm going through it. Acceleration. Suddenly you're like, whoa, gray hairs. I'm like, yeah, well, eventually I have to grow up. I can't Peter Pan my way through life forever.
Have you thought about would you ever dye it?
So I have quite a few friends that have gone the route of Just for Men. Or is there another product now that has surpassed them?
I didn't even know that we had friends on Just for Men.
Oh, you didn't know? Oh my God, maybe you're not friends. I have 2 pretty good friends that both have dark brown hair and are good. Here's the problem. You can always tell.
Oh, that's not what I was going to say is the problem.
Well, what were you going to say is the problem?
That you have to use it for the rest of your life, because once you go off, then you're full gray.
Yeah. Well, I think the idea is you're using it for the certain phase of your life, and then eventually you're just going to stop doing it at some point, right?
I don't know. You can tell. I mean, I guess I did have a friend. There was one guy who used it, and you're like, you look ridiculous. It's too dark.
Too dark. It's always too dark. I don't think hair dye? I don't know what it is, but I don't think it comes in human colors. Human hair colors. It comes in crayon colors and I think it comes in car paint colors,
Right.
I think what you need to do is when you go paint shopping and you've got the little swatches, I think you need to put those up to your hair to the person who's doing it. I also don't know if they're doing it at home or if they get a colorist, because women get colorists. Men may need to get their hair colored.
What is Just for Men?
I don't know. It's I think it comes with a brush.
Yeah.
I think it's a self brush. So I think men needs to go, if you're in your 40s, I think you got to go professional coloring or just go gray. The Just for Men thing, not working.
I have a buddy, I'll tell you offline, he uses powder. You kind of shake. I'm sorry. This is more for balding than for black for gray. I'm sorry, but I don't know. You shake it and like it fills your bald spots or something.
Yeah, I've seen that. I love the YouTube or TikToks where you see a guy who's got like the full bald dome, and then they just glue the rug on and they cut the haircut into the rug.
Yeah, I think we were both in agreement. You kind of just got to lean into it. If you're going bald, just shave it. Mark
Yeah,
Messier.
yeah, Messier.
So I wanted to talk to you. We were chatting offline about this week's topic, which is take your friend to work day.
I love
Um,
that.
take your son or take your daughter to work day. When we were kids, was that real or do we invent that in our minds?
No, that was definitely real. That was
Yeah.
definitely a thing. Why, you don't think it exists anymore?
No, well, that's a good question. Have you ever heard of any of you? Well, I guess our kids' friends
Yeah,
aren't
I don't
kids.
I don't know, but I know it was a thing. I used to do a bit about that.
No, what
The
was it?
bit the bit was take your kid to work day. That's the day you find out your dad is somebody else's bitch.
Oh God,
Like you
yeah.
thought your dad was on a pedestal. You thought it was like God, your dad, you. Then you find out it's God, Shlomo Zimmerman, Paul Schwartz, your dad, you. You're just like, oh, hey, dad, you're the man, right? And then it's like, oh, the man is getting some other man coffee.
But I mean, I vaguely remember going to the office with my folks. I interned with my dad at one point. But we were just saying, like, I feel like a lot of guys, a lot of people don't have any idea what their friends do.
Yeah, I think that's right. Well, I don't know what anyone does in the pub, marketing, anything in that PR. Like, I don't know what their day to day in their office is in that realm. I also don't know what anybody in the financial realm does all day. I don't really know what, like, I know what a therapist does all day. I know what lawyers do all day. I know what doctors do all day. Anybody else, I don't know what they do all day.
Right. Like if someone works in like Google in partnerships or something,
Right,
like
right. Yeah. Anybody who does strategy or assets or branding or anything like that, I don't know what they do all day.
well, I think they have clients and then they have to do things for the clients
Yeah.
and but we coined in this podcast level up moments, lumos, which are experiences that take you to the next level with your friends. So for instance, meeting your friend's parents, going on a trip with your friends. And one of those I think could possibly, I don't mean maybe going to work with them, probably not, but actually just knowing what they do, asking them what they
Yeah.
do. Matt, you recently talked about in the Q1 check-in, how much do you know about your new friend? Well, this should be one of them. Like, what do you do all day?
I know. Well, my buddy Dan, who's like a tutor, I just like actually now we're sharing an office. Now I know what he does. Like I'm like, oh, okay. This is
I mean, you didn't know what a tutor did?
no, he's got a bunch of different gigs that he's working on. There's like various wheeling and dealing. Also, we both now see we have like 9 hustles.
Dan is a real Cosmo Kramer type.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of hustles.
Um,
But I think there's something to be said for knowing what your friend does and what their work life is, not just what they do. Like, what is their work life?
I think it's especially poignant for us because nobody knows what we do outside the industry.
Yeah. I hear like my wife and I think women like to talk about their work issues a lot too. So if you don't really know what your friends do, it's hard to like be an
Right.
empathetic ear to them.
Do you think it's weird that like in our circle or inner circle, like 90% of us are in the same business? I guess that's the same if you work in finance, I guess.
Well, I like it. I mean, to be honest, I find it makes friendship a little easier because you can talk about a big portion of your day, which is your work life, and I do kind of get it and know the players and care and can chime in and can offer any sort of acknowledgement or wisdom or whatever,
Yeah.
versus everybody
Sometimes
else who's not in our circle where you're just like, all right, well, we can talk and we can have dinner and we can have lunch, but it's not going to really make sense for us to talk about work stuff.
sometimes I kind of just get sick of it.
Sick of talking about work stuff.
Yeah.
Well, then it's good to have friends who are not in the same workspace so you can talk about other stuff.
Yeah. I think I told you this a couple years ago when I went to an event with my friend Nicole, and it was all venture capitalists and tech people. And they were like us, but they were just talking in their jargon.
Right.
And I was fascinated because it was like I didn't know what, it was just a different world. So I'm sure it's like being with lawyers and doctors.
Right.
You
I think
know,
right. It
I
seems cooler on the outside.
right.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I read something this many years ago that the whole reason there's jargon in the first place it's less utilitarian. It's more just to make it a thing. Like if you're not a lawyer, you don't know what all these things mean. So let us, trust us.
right. Well, yeah,
Doc-
it's gatekeeping for the industry.
Gatekeeping is the word. Right. Right.
Yeah, I think lawyers are definitely ultimate gatekeepers of,
What?
of,
Yes.
of like how things work.
Um. Do you have any friends that you have no idea what they do?
So, have you ever been called out on this by anybody in your orbit? Because I feel like I have.
Oh, you don't know what you? Someone saying you don't know what I do?
Yeah. I've had that happen recently.
I'm pretty inquisitive
And,
about the
and
work
then I
stuff.
was like, no, you're wrong. I do. I just don't really. I guess it's like, oh, I've never asked you about it,
Do you think that
which I think you're
also
obligated to do.
what?
Ask people about their work.
Yeah, I mean, I think that also goes along, Matt, with our guys don't ask any questions about their
Yeah.
friends, about their wives,
Yeah.
about their kids. How's work? I mean, this is we're really scraping the bottom of the question barrel here. Like, I think that's a
Right.
good question to ask. Like, are there any pitfalls or minefields to keep in mind when you're asking your buddy about work?
Like, I mean, honestly, I think you just. Well, I think we were talking about like it's less like, hey, how's work, or it's like, hey, is there anything you're excited about? Right? Wasn't that like the
Right.
idea?
Yes, we gave a tip, which we should be better at following, which is you're not really asking, you're asking about feelings, not facts. So instead of like how's work, or what, you're getting a promotion or what's going on, it's exactly what you said. Anything you're excited about, anything you're stressed about,
I like
proud about.
I like the idea of what we're just the topic of the day, which is like bring your friend to work. Like I like the idea of like that it would level you up if you're like, hey, come to the office sometime.
Yeah, but
You know,
people who aren't in our business can't do that.
not our business, any business.
No, I'm saying people in another business. We could do that in our business, but
Yeah,
you're gonna sit at your friends. I mean, I did visit our friend when he was operating, and he's a surgeon.
yeah. You could look, you could do it. I'm sure. Like, yes, it's not like commonplace, right? But I'm sure if you're like, hey, let's get lunch, come by the office first. A lot of
Yes,
times people give you the option and they go,
yes,
hey, do you want to just meet at the place, or why don't you come by my office and then we'll go from
yes,
there? I think that's an opportunity that you're missing if you go, hey, I'll just meet you there. Because if you go to the office, right, it's like, oh, this person's inviting you
yeah,
into another aspect of their life that you've never seen before. That's them saying, hey, I trust you. I'm moving you closer into my inner circle, and you're getting to see my work people, right? A lot of people want to keep those very separate. So by you saying, hey, I'm inviting you to my workplace, you're saying, I feel comfortable.
yeah. I love that. That's actually such a smart tip. Oh, just come up to the office. You're not gonna like, oh, this is Bob. This is my assistant. This is whatever. Just kind of see. Oh, when you're texting them or calling them, this is where they're sitting. You know.
How many of your friends have you been to their workplace?
I have been to I've been to a few of our high school friends' workplaces, not maybe their
Same.
current jobs.
Right, same. Over the years, I have been, and
Yeah, I've
I
been
was
to
at Londy's at Paramount.
yep, I've been to Jeff's office in his last office.
You
Um,
know what? I'm having lunch with Nick next week. I'm going to ask him to go to Paramount, and then we'll walk to.
oh, that's
But
great. Um, I can't remember if we talked this on the pod, but I recently, when I was in New York, I met one of our buddies' work friends at an event.
okay,
And so I wasn't at his office, but I met his work friends, his colleagues, his coworkers. And that was a Lumo of someone I've known as long as you,
yeah,
just
right.
like someone.
First time meeting these work people.
Yeah. Cause just think about, I know everything about you, Matt, except I don't know like when you're a lawyer or I don't know your coworkers because you're different around them.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, in a good
Right.
way.
Right. No, I
Like,
think, well, I think that's what people are scared of. I think people are scared of cross pollinating or getting the close friends who know them on appropriate and inappropriate levels.
right, right. Yeah. Um,
You're like, you
yeah.
got to be like, all right, come visit me at work, no storytelling.
It's so funny to say that, Matt, because one of our buddies' coworkers was like, any good stories? And I'm like, oh,
No,
plenty of good
yeah,
stories.
not
But
for you. Like,
yeah,
what are you,
yeah,
crazy?
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't invite you here to sandbag me, to obliterate my work life.
What's also interesting, I think, Matt, for us, we're late, early 40s. Um, where our friends are senior executives at this point. So it's
Right.
like you're actually often meeting a subordinate, which is great.
Oh, I've been to my brother's office. That's nice.
Oh, yes, because your brother's the big dog.
Right. It's like, that's always, my dad was a boss at his company too. So when I would go in there, it was like,
Matt, when you visit your brother's office, do people stand and greet you?
no, but they treat me with a certain amount of
Respect
respect.
that you don't deserve.
Undeserved, unwarranted.
What's the dress code over there?
Business casual like everybody else, you know?
Is anybody still wearing suits in New York or no?
It's kind of annoying that so few people are wearing suits.
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
yeah, I don't know, man. There's something I think, I don't know, something nice about, I just think people look better in suits if you're going to go do business.
Yeah. God, I mean, can we even, do we even have a leg to stand on in this, Matt?
No, but I'm just saying, I think it looks nice, you know, for
Yeah.
those who are doing business, for those who are transacting.
You'd appreciate this, Matt. So Jeff, my agent, who you're friends with as well, he always wears a suit. He's kind of old
I
school.
respect it.
And I'm just like, get over yourself.
No, I totally respect. Hard disagree. I totally, and since I rented my office, I've started wearing jeans and pants. Like I was wearing. I went through a big phase last year where I was wearing the Viore only. Right? Any other
Yeah,
man goes for a Viore. Is it Viore or Vuori?
it's a good question. I don't know.
Vuori. I think it's
Yeah.
Viore, but I've heard other people say Vuar. Vuari.
Anyway,
Anyway, so I went through like a year where I'm only wearing Vories. But I rented my office a few months back and I've just made it a habit of wearing button downs and wearing pants and just kind of getting
wait,
slightly more dressed up.
button down?
Yeah.
Wow, that's like
Yeah.
basically black tie in LA.
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just trying to put myself in the mental profesh headspace.
I love when you get a little trend in your head and you're like, you go, let them.
Let me. Let me kill you. Oh, no. Here's our theory. A new theory where one friend just won't let you just do what you want to do without chiding you and degrading you and abusing you. It's called the let me theory. Let me.
Oh,
When your besties will hound you and harangue you and just debase you for just trying to better yourself. Let me. Let me by Matt Ritter. Let me.
oh God. Oh man. In your new office setup,
Yeah.
uh, has anyone besides family has any friend visited you yet?
They want to. Actually, somebody just texted while we were doing this. Hey, is anybody in your office? I said, no, I'm doing the pod and we're doing all this other stuff. So I'm not going to be around.
I love how you're turning your office into basically a hangout, and the landlord is like, it's an office.
He was very anti hangout.
Yeah.
But what's
Like,
funny is all the other people, so it's all these small individual offices, and they all come by and like chit chat with each other, which is nice. I
oh
think they
God.
don't want any external chit chat.
Should we take a listener question?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be right back. Okay, guys, this is asking for a friend. If you have a friendship question or ethical dilemma, send it to us on Instagram and we will answer it on the show. This was a great question that came in. I wasn't sure if they wanted us to keep them anonymous, so I'm just going to use the initial CS. CS says, hi, I want to start by saying I love the pod. It's really helped me personally. I do have a question. It's a two-parter. I'm in college and people are starting to graduate and go their separate ways. I want to know what are some things I can do to further develop the relationship to ensure we don't fall apart post college. We go to the gym together, talk sports, party. We've had deep conversations, although I need to have deeper conversations about myself to them. Also, one of my friends is debating whether to go back home or get a job in our current city where we go to school. How do I tell him that I want him to stay in the current city without it coming off selfish or demanding?
Oh, oh, that's sweet, isn't it?
Great. Yeah, really great.
Which one should we tackle first? The first part or the second part?
Let's do the first part about, okay, you're in your senior year and people are starting to graduate, and like, how do you keep everybody together?
First off, I love that you're even thinking about this stuff. None of your friends are thinking about this, and you're going to be the friend who keeps that friend group together. One day they're going to look back and go, thank God for CES. Without this guy, who knows how we would have stayed together. So, first of all, that's awesome that you are looking to take on. It's a great responsibility. It's awesome. Um, I would say, first off, just start something, right? Start something consistent, put it on the calendar, whatever it is that you could start you're all going to be living in the city together, start as frequently as you can now. Actually, when you're 22, you could do a weekly hangout with your friends. You could do a weekly happy hour. You could do a trivia night. You could do a Sunday football hang. That's the great part about being that young. Like, you guys have time. You've got
And of
free
course,
time.
that assumes, which I think he was also implying, some people are moving away besides the one inner circle guy. What you want to do is create a ritual, which is that for the people who've moved and people who stay, we're starting a fantasy football league. We're going homecoming every year. Once a month, we're going to get on a Zoom. Every 6 months, we're going to take a weekend trip, boy trip, and one person organizes each time. We're going to ritualize the ritual. We're going to create a name for the college group. We are going to make T-shirts. We're going to change the name of the group chat. We're going to create things that make the gang sticky. So when they move, someone moves. Listen, as Matt, I'm sure you will agree, naturally, there's going to be some distancing, literally and metaphorically, but you want to keep the ties that bind you together so you can wheel everybody back in.
I love what you said. I think we have to write that down, make it sticky. I don't think we've said that before. I really like that because we've been talking about ritualizing the ritual. Making it sticky is cool because you're saying this is a fun, cool thing that's going to be part of our identity. You can't bail on this, man. You're in this thing, right? Like, you go, hey, we are this thing, right? When you go, hey, we're the whatever you guys are, whatever we're the Gamecock boys. I don't know. I just made up a school that they may go. It's
Yeah.
like whatever that is, now you're those guys. Now that's your identity, and you're not going to bail on it as easily as you would just like a regular plan to go to a bar.
So then we've got his buddy, his close buddy, who's debating: do I move away or do I stay local? And this guy's staying local, which I also is a great sentiment. He wants his buddy to stay local.
It's so sweet that he wants his buddy to stay local, and he was like, "Should I feel guilty or whatever, selfish?" It's like, no, yeah, it's selfish to want your friend, I guess, but it's great to have your friends around. I mean, that means you care about this person. You want them to be around. You should express that to them. But I don't think you should do it in like a guilt trippy way because it doesn't matter. Every person's going to decide whatever's best for them. They're going to factor that in, I'm
Right.
sure. But they may not even know you feel that way. Your friends are not mind readers. So tell them, hey, man, I don't know if you know, but I just want it to be said. I would love it for us to be doing this first year out of college together. Let's get an apartment. Let's get our first apartment together. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great transition. I'd love to keep it going. I know you have other options. I'm just throwing it out there that my vote is for you to stay. I don't
Yeah.
think that's guilt. I don't think that's guilt tripping.
I don't even think guilt tripping comes into play here. I
I'm
don't really
saying he
think
said it was like narcissistic. It's not narcissistic.
Nah. I mean, I was looking to say the same thing. Hey, we should live together. Send him an apartment link. This place would be sick. Pitch a couple of the things that you're going to be doing together. Point out the fact that he doesn't know anybody in the other city. I think you're right, man. The other friend's going to make a decision based on his job or whatever. But
and I also would say flip it. So say you say nothing and he goes, you're going to just regret that.
yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, actually, the other friend doesn't have the job yet. So hey, you can also look for jobs for him. Hey, what about this thing? I know a buddy.
yeah. Get him a job. Then he'll
Yeah,
stay.
Yeah, get him a job. And
That's
by the
tricky,
way, I mean,
man. That is tricky, right? Because look, we know from doing this pod for years now, one of the biggest things in friendship is, there are sort of moments like leaving college, getting married, whatever, where friendships change and the dynamic changes. And when somebody moves away, that's the biggest one. And it's hard to recover from if you don't plan for it. To try to keep that friendship close, you have to put an effort. And we know a lot of men do not put an effort, and they just kind of, those friendships where somebody's not in proximity to you, they tend to fall by the wayside. Um, but so I definitely think you should say your piece if you want your friend to be in the same city as you.
and how about this, Matt? Nothing stopping you from moving to where he is. I mean, except maybe money and job and family and circumstances. But check out episode number 126, where we talk about moving for your friends.
Right.
And, that is a possibility as well.
Right.
Maybe you guys move together.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's something sweet about just the idea that he's, stressing about, his best friend potentially leaving, but don't worry. If he leaves, you'll figure out a way to maintain with him, but you'll also make new friends. I think, again, that's the other thing I want to impress upon people. Like, you do need to have close friends in proximity. So when you leave college, if you're the one that's going away and all of your other friends are staying in the city, I think it's great to create some rituals and, do a homecoming and whatever. But I think it's also great for you to start focusing on making new friends in the city that you're living in.
And by the way, it's just refreshing that he's thinking about this sort of before graduation, because most people reach out to us sort of after graduation, and then
Right.
it's people have already gone. So it's like you're putting the laying the groundwork.
It's great. It's great. And just most college kids, like we said, most college kids are nowhere near the headspace that you're in. So you're leaps and bounds ahead going, hey, I want to keep my friend group together.
Right. Right. But also, listen, when you graduate, you get your first real job. That is also a well of new friends, new
Oh,
coworkers,
yeah.
new work
Great.
buddies, new. But you're right, Matt. Leaving college is one of those inflection points, because it's the last time you have automatic friends.
Yeah. It's scary, to be honest. Like, it is a little scary to get out there in the real world where your friends aren't just around 24/7. So it's very nice to do it with a friend. I have to say, it's a big advantage if you can start off post college with at least one friend from school.
Yeah.
Uh, but it can also be a crutch, right? I mean, sometimes it's a crutch for people, and so when you don't have it, you just have to go full throttle and you make friends. But I think overall it would be nice, so you should push for it.
CS, please let us know how it goes. Let us know what goes on with this guy and the rest of your buddies. Hit us up on Instagram. And guys, that was asking for a friend. Send us your question and we will answer it on the show. Matt, any final thoughts about bring your friend to work day? Should we make it a holiday? We're already trying to do Friendsgiving. Maybe on Friendsgiving, you bring your friend to work?
I mean, that would be awesome. But here's how it doesn't work. Here's why this doesn't work. Here's why it's impossible, Kira. I think you're missing the obvious logical hole, which is, let's see if you can figure it. It'll be 5 seconds.
Of why I'm combining them?
No, why this can't work.
Bring your friend to work day in general.
Yeah.
Because people are hybrid. People are remote.
No, because everyone has a job. Who's bringing who?
Oh, you switch off.
Switch off. I'm just saying, if you just made it, well, yes, if you made a national holiday, bring your friend to work. Who's bringing who?
Oh, right. Yeah, but that's like saying bring your daughter to work day. Only one of the two spouses can do it.
No, but it's not the same as everybody has it would be chaos. Like it's just total chaos.
Well, but there's a bringer and a bringee, and I think they're both, might be more fun to be the bringee.
How do you decide?
I think
who makes more? Whoever makes more.
Whoever makes more. Trying to think about that. I guess, yeah, whoever makes more. I don't know. It's so bizarre, it's so random. I don't know. And then you treat them to lunch. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Bring your friend to work day. It's a work in progress.
Yeah, I do need to visit you in your office. What it sounds like an Animal House situation.
It's great. No, it's very quiet. You have to be very quiet. We're actually on probation already, so it is like Animal House.
Honestly, like I'm on the side of your landlord. I'm the side of your.
We're already on double secret probation.
Guys, let us know what you think about Bring Your Friend to Work Day, and let us know, like, do you know what your buddies do, and do they know what you do? Because I think that's pretty important. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Always remember, be good to yourself, be good to your friends. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.